Hello, my name's Sean. I'm going to be giving you a demo of the analysis correlation engine. So let's get started by working some alerts. We'll go to the Manage Alerts page. First we have to log in. And then here on the Manage Alerts page you can see the open alerts in the queue that are not owned by other analysts. These alerts have tags on them. Those tags are meant to give additional context around what these alerts are about, what's inside of them. So Microsoft Office, RTF gives me the idea that there's a Microsoft Office document in this one. Same here, a link and zip gives me the impression that these three are probably related because they have that same link and zip tag, and it's probably not good. You can also click on these tags and it'll add those to your filter. So now we're looking at open alerts not owned by others with that tag. And you can also expand individual alerts to see a summary of the observables that ACE found inside of them. So these are all of the values for these different observable types. For example, this bit.ly link is an observable value of the URL observable. We can continue to, we can also click on these observables and add to our filter as well. So this message ID, you can see that now we filtered down even further to see that these two alerts have the message ID and also that tab. You can also edit filters manually, so if you want to, this can actually be pretty powerful. But we'll just reset our filters and start working some alerts. I'm going to start with the oldest alert that's in the queue currently. I might change the columns so that the oldest is at the top. But let's take a look. So this is an alert from ACE's Cloudfish engine. The Cloudfish engine performs analysis on URL observables. So this was the URL it was given. You can see that Cloudfish went there, downloaded a RAR file, and ACE realized it was a RAR file, extracted it to show that there's a link file inside, and found that as a detection. There's also a Yara hit on it. Let's go back and see if we can group. So these numbers that are at the end of these observables represent how many times ACE has seen this specific observable value. So all three of these alerts have that same bit.ly link in it. I'm going to take ownership of them. So if you have multiple analysts working the queue at the same time, you'll want to take ownership of the alerts that you're working so that another analyst doesn't take them from you and you don't end up doing rework. But let's take a look at this original email. So you can see it has two detections. That means that ACE found two detections in the email. The email analysis module extracted these observables such as the email address, the conversations. This file was found in the email. ACE realized it was a PDF, gave it to the PDF analysis module, and gave us these URLs that are inside of it. Those are also added as observables. Here's that bit.ly link that we just looked at that downloaded the RAR and has the link file. Note up here at the top where it says View Critical Analysis. We are actually viewing all of the analysis for this alert, but if we didn't want to, we could collapse that, and you can see that a lot of the details disappear. So it's a way to collapse alerts, make them a little bit more viewable. It's helpful if you have a lot of analysis in an alert. But anyway, let's we know that these alerts are bad, so we can disposition them directly, but more than likely you're going to have to do some kind of remediation work and respond to these, whether it's email remediation, which is not implemented by default, but we'll create an event and add it to the event queue so that our responders or us, whenever we go to respond, can keep track of the things we need to respond to. I like to name things that kind of tell a story about the event. So subject of the email has a PDF attachment. The PDF has a bit.ly link in it that downloads a RAR file that it has a link file inside of it. So it's not remediated yet. Maybe we know that it came from webmail instead of corporate email. I'm not sure, but you can specify these different fields and the malware type. Lots of different malware types can be added. Anything you want, really. Cool. So we removed those, and if we come over here to the Events tab, we'll see that this is that event that we just created, and these are the alerts that we remediated. So this just kind of gives a handy way to manage your response activities. Continuing on in the queue, let's check out this next alert. Okay, so I kind of like to expand the observables first and take a look. I noticed that this file attachment, which looks suspicious to me right off the bat, has 7 hits on it. I'm going to add that to my queue. I see that there's no other alerts open with it, so maybe I edit my filters, and I'll say, well, I noticed that this came in back on September 22nd, so I'm going to say show me in the last 30 days all alerts that have that observable file value. And then sure enough, this blue tag with the lightning bolt represents an event. So an event was created for this email with the same subject and the same file, and I actually dispositioned it as delivery. So we can look and see if this event is still open. If it is, we can easily add it to that event, and it is. It's this one right here. So we can, easy as that, we just add that alert to the event so it gets included in any response activities. Let's go ahead and take a look at this though. Here's where I marked it delivery. That's 5 detections. ACE extracted the email, found the file inside, added it as an observable, realized that it was a Microsoft Office document, gave it to the OLE VBA analysis module, which extracted a couple macro files, and we had some Yara hits on it. I'm going to view all analysis, see if there's something else worth viewing. Okay, so yeah, you can directly download this file. You can see if it's in VirusTotal. You can view these macros, and certainly doesn't look like a nice macro to me. So I think we made a good choice, and we're going to reset the filters and continue working. I see these where do I send your book and several alerts. I'm going to see if I can group them somehow. I noticed the message ID only has 1 hit, but this URL has 7, so maybe I filter on that. Sure enough, they all grouped, so I'm going to take ownership of these. And then I might want to expand the observables for these alerts, kind of scroll through them, and what that allows me to do is see that they're pretty much all the same. They have all the same observables. Pretty safe to assume that I don't need to look at every single one of them. I'm just going to look at this one, and it has 1 detection. So ACE has a live browser analysis module that will actually render any HTML it's given. In this case, it rendered the HTML and the email body, and we can see here that it looks like it's from the Australian Tribune, something about a crypto revolution. Looks kind of spammy, and these are all the links that ACE pulled out of the HTML, and it hit on an email fish template Yara rule. So I mean, this doesn't look malicious to me, but maybe you want to look a little further. You can view this HTML. I know, see it says confirm your details, so I might. Okay, so it looks like this is the link that they're trying to get the user to click on. So you could take that link, see if it's in VirusTotal, throw it in a sandbox, or if you're in a safe environment like I am, you can just click on it and take a look. And sure enough, it's trying to get the user to buy a book so they can be a crypto billionaire. So that's a false positive. I'm going to go back and disposition all these as false positive. Maybe if you want to categorize things that are spammy like that, you might say they're gray area or something, but there's no response activity necessary, so no need to worry about that one. New application for Retail Real Estate Development Manager. Microsoft Office document, zip attached. Glenn doc resume. Okay, so this is an alert where it's got a lot of details. We know there's only 1 detection. Here's where the HTML body of that email was rendered. It looks like someone's applying for a real estate development manager job. Cool. but I'm going to view critical analysis, and it'll make it a little bit easier to find that one detection, which is right there. And by the way, the red icon with a white flame is just an indication of the detection or a detection that ACE made. So sometimes you'll see a gazillion of those, and sometimes you'll see just a handful. But hit on this Yara rule. Let's take a look at it. And okay, so it's basically this Yara rule is looking for links to embedded URLs or files in Office documents that are malicious. In this case, the target is a file named basic resume template.m, and that's not malicious. We would have seen it. The file, I don't believe, is even. The file's not even in this actual document. So this is an artifact, which is kind of common with Office documents. That is just an artifact that's left over from this user using a resume template to create this resume. So maybe you want to add that to a comment so you can, if you're looking back, you can see that. And there's an easy false positive button on every alert. So there's no other alerts associated with this one on the queue. We can just click that and it's false positive. Now we're back to the queue. And we'll move to the next one. Project order. Looks like an Office document with RTF. There's 4 detections on it. And the body was rendered. It says, hello, good day. Please check attached the project order details and specification. Yada yada. And ACE found this file in it, project order doc. Looks like there's several different RTF YAR rule hits on it, and yeah, looks pretty safe. This is not a safe email. I'm gonna glance at this, and yep, sure enough, this doesn't look friendly. So I'm confident this is malicious. You can check virus total if you want and see if it's there. I think this one is. We'll see. Yep, it is. Cool. So this one needs to be remediated as well. So we'll create an event for it. Project order doc. And now we're back to the queue, looking at, again, alerts that are open, not owned by any other analysts. See, look, these DocuSign, couple DocuSign alerts, I wonder if they're related. There's a message ID with 2 hits. Sure enough. Take ownership of those, and let's check out this email. 10 detections. Please DocuSign. Okay. These look like official DocuSign addresses. By the way, you can view the email analysis module also pulls out the email headers for every email. So let me view all analysis so we can see that file. So it's right there. So if you wanted to actually look at these headers and determine if it looks like this email really did come from official DocuSign, you can do that. All of that's available right there. In this case, I can tell you it did. And it says the body of the email says corrected taco rrrr final 2dd.pdf. Scrolling through here, some more DocuSign official looking URLs, and it hit on our email patterns DocuSign YAR rule. Maybe we want to take a look at this email body. Yeah, so there's no malicious links in there. They're not trying to get the user to click on anything. I think there's some more hits down here. I got a development crits instance with a lot of indicators tied into my my ACE box here. Some of those are probably old, but this is a false positive as well. So move on. Reset filters. We got 1 alert in the queue. I noticed that there's 5 hits on this URL. I wonder. I'll look and say alerts that came in yesterday with that. Yeah, and there's several. And notice the Adobe shared file. So there's an event for these existing, and it looks like maybe some of these got dispositioned incorrectly. One of them still open. Sorry about that. So we can grab all of these and add them to that event, see if it's still open, and it is. Great. Maybe we want to just look at this one that was open still. So out of the email that this came from, this URL was inside of it. Cloudfish crawled it, pulled down the content, and rendered the HTML in that content, excuse me, which makes it super easy to see that this is actually a credential harvesting fish right there, trying to be Adobe, act like Adobe at this URL. So I think we're good there. And reset filters, and the queue is clear. Nothing else to do. Let me show you this manual analysis feature. So you can use ACE to manually correlate any observables. Some of these observables require specific modules to be turned on, and certain environments such as process GUI is currently, we have a lot of modules built out around Carbon Black. So if you have Carbon Black, you can tie your Carbon Black environment into that, turn it on, and get a lot of functionality around there. Correlation and analysis. But let's just go with, say that a user reported an email to you and someone forwarded this email, and you want to check it out and see if it's bad or not. So another email. So we'll upload that email file as a file, and ACE will get to work analyzing it. Notice that the status over here says analyzing. It won't take long for it to finish that. You notice ACE has already tagged a lot of these, and if you expand the observables, a lot of observables have already been pulled out of this email. But while that analysis is finishing, I'll show you the events over here, which I kind of already touched on, but you can use this to manage your response activities. The metrics tab basically will give you some tables around the data that ACE generates. So I'm going to comment out crits because I don't want to show an Intel source that I've tied in. And yeah, so alert quantities, cycle times, a breakdown of hours of operations. The cycle times is like how long is it actually taking your analyst to work the different types of alerts. Some of these are ridiculous, like 50, because I had those alerts in there for a long time, but it gives you an idea. Let's see if this is done. Cool, so this manual alert's done now. It has 20 detections, and email addresses pulled out, the conversations, the file, doc file. OLED VBA analysis shows us there's some macros in it. Got some macro code YAR rules. Yeah. I think we can view the plain text. In this case, there was no HTML body in this email, but we can view the plain text. Hello, kind reminder. All right. So basically, hey, open this document, and maybe we check out this macro. And this doesn't look like a friendly macro at all. So you can still you can download this file for further analysis, view it in VirusTotal. If you have a VxStream environment, you can integrate it directly. And obviously, I mean, speaking on VirusTotal, if you have a VirusTotal account, you can give ACE your API and turn on a VirusTotal analysis module that will then use VirusTotal as an additional detection point. But this is bad, so we'll want to disposition or create an event for this, and I don't know, maybe since the user, this email was sent to us, we can kind of determine that it probably at least reached exploitation as a user and someone became aware of it and sent it to us. So we'll add that to the event queue, and ACE is going to complain because it only looks for certain characters to be in the event names. Basically, no big deal. We just need to remove these underscores, and we'll add this alert to an event so that we can respond to it and figure out if the user actually opened it, maybe it reached installation or further. So there you go. There's a high-level overview of how to use ACE as an analyst. And thank you so much for your time. And goodbye.